Okay. Hey, George. Let's start with, can you hear me? Oh, I'm also going to need to share the screen. I'm not getting, let's see, I'm looking at participants. Can I also look at, there you are. You can see the board now. You're here. Good. In the upper left, I have top chat with the three dots. On the three dots, I can look at participants, but then I can no longer see chats. Bummer. I'd love seeing participants. So I'm going to stay with pop out chat. Oh, I see that comes over here. So can I then restore chat? Okay, there's chat. So I pop out chat, gives me a whole nother box to look at, but then nothing works on my left. So I can only look at the chatting or the participants, not both, as far as I can tell. Okay. Now I'm kind of assuming that people will go to that first one that's not up or working, and they'll wonder what's going on. I wonder if I can head over to manage and kill this one. No one's in it. I just click delete. Didn't work. Okay, never mind. Yes, I sent a link to the chat in the other video. Cool. And no one's there, by the way. I just went there and it says no one's there. Hey, Morsis. Morsis is John. John, meet George. It's not important to me. Maybe it should be up so that people can see what you're saying. George, Morsis has been a student of mine for long time. And we've become good friends, and met together. He lives in my area, so we've met together personally for lessons many, many times. He's one of those interesting ones that when he chooses to, he can play his 3-dan the whole game. But what he usually chooses to do is get confused with other Q players and just play. Man, he can play 6 Q moves like falling off a log. So he's trying to get consistent up in the, stronger Qs. I think last I saw his KGS account, it was 3Q, 2Q, something, 4Q. So not bad, but he's much stronger than that when he wants to be. Okay. The 3 of us. Okay. and and John, George has been with me for I don't know how long. You started lessons a couple years back anyway. And recently, George has been working with me and Chris a lot. Chris is friend 9-dan. And George is getting it. Oh my God, he's playing 1 and 2-dan level consistently. And a lot of higher stuff. Very exciting. Well, it's just us chickens. So let's do it anyway. Does that sound okay with you, George? Or do you think we should wait longer? There's my camera. Hello. Put this over here, even better. Now I'm angled. This over here. Now I'm angled the other way. We'll just do it like that. Okay. So I want to look at, there's something players in general miss. And it was on my mind that we would look at that. So, we have a Das Wiesel. We are using a, what do you call it? Video. George and Morris, let's go to KGS and come on in the game. We're using a video link. So if you guys come in, you can talk with Wiesel and tell him what we're doing and how to join if he wants to. Give him a link or something. Oh, you don't need to be in the game, do you? Because you're seeing it here. I see. But only the link didn't work, so I had to click the link on the main page to the right. Yikes. I see. I don't know what that means. We're so brand new at this. Hey, there's George. Okay, so moving forward now with the game, y'all need to, you guys are going to be playing black. I'm playing white. Shout out a coordinate, which is a problem because my picture is covering where that coordinate's going to show up. And I can't move it. Wow. I don't think there's a way of fixing that. I could turn my camera off. I'm going to go turn my camera off because we can't get past that. So How do I get to camera? I'm going to go to I'm going to go to here. Camera access. I'm just going to turn it off. No, then it's black. That's no good. Now it's back on, and now it's a black. Okay. This is not working. George, I'm going to have to lean on you here. Trying dragging the camera, did that. There's no grab associated. We put it there in making up the YouTube presentation. If I was well versed, I could perhaps go to that presentation and move it from there, but that's above me at this moment. The problem is my picture, which is now black because I tried to undo the camera, is covering the text window. So if you guys were to, once someone enters their text, I'll be able to see it because it then comes up. Okay, so I don't need to see the text box. Oh man. Now I also can't see the move tree, but we can get around that. So we can do it. Okay, give me a coordinate. I think we're on our way, folks. George, you and I have stuff to work on before next week. One of you have to shout out a coordinate. Is there that much lag? Or are you guys just shy? Hey, I'm looking at the video. I saw Das Weasel. He's not in here yet. Start up the video again. Let's try that. I'm closing. Start up the game again. Well, I'm going to put down Q16 and then my move. Start up the video again. I don't know what that means. Just turn on your video. How would I turn on a video here? I know what you're saying is incredibly obvious and simple. I just don't understand it. That's how low. You turned your webcam off, did I? Then I turned it back on. I agree, doesn't matter, but I wouldn't know how to turn it back on. Let's go over here. Yeah. So we'll just feel free to guide me. But other than that, I'm still waiting for the next coordinate. Oh, I see. Someone gave me a coordinate on the right. And I was looking at the KGS window, which I shouldn't be looking at. Oh, man, I'm causing so much trouble for myself. Looking for the next coordinate. We have the first black stone down. Someone shout it out. Doesn't matter if you both do it, one do it. This is our first time. We'll be working out a bunch of kinks. C4. Next. Once we have some stones down, then we'll be able to start what the purpose of why we're here. John, feel free to jump on in. I'm starting to assume that there's a great deal of lag. Hey, Kawa. Because when I say shout out a coordinate, it's a long time before someone does. And I know two of you, and two of you aren't so shy. 2:15. I'm going to play this one for you. Okay, now one of you, how should black, well, if you want to settle it all. Black's next. Yeah, there has got to be C11. Okay. So we're only 9 moves into the game, and we can now start to define what we're looking at for this, I'll call it a lecture. Now, I'm going to use the term things. Black's already lost. I'm going to use the term things, and I want you guys to help me define it because I don't have a good definition. Okay, so let's look at things. Let's start with, I'm going to put black here, and let's notice on the left, black is suggesting that he's going to get a really big area. Now, I'm not going to ask if you guys understand that because I think it's going to take forever for you to respond. So, area 1, this is something that stands out as important. Special characteristics. Ooh, that might be the definition of things. Special characteristics. Okay. Once we look at the special characteristics, we will then see if you've got something to say. Black is playing all high in a cross fuseki. Oh, I have no idea what that means, or would I ever consider that in finding a move. But first thing, special characteristic, area 1. Second one, we have an unfinished corner. Third one, someone tell me the special characteristic of the top. Yes. Ooh. He said that with confidence, like he's a strong player. And I think I saw 2 down by his name. Very nice. Yeah. The A stone is low and settled. So the idea of white playing there is utterly absurd, which makes the triangles downright small. However, the squares are big. So we could say the top is half big, half small, and there's so many things that are big and big, we don't even look at the top right now. Later on, the top will be big enough, and someone will be playing in this square area, not so much the triangle area. Hello, Bambi. Bambi is Das Weasel, but more like, oh, I see. Gotcha. Okay. Now, one thing I want to point out, if we look at the left, oh, black's going to do something great. In our minds, this stands out as important and urgent kind of feeling. But I want to say that A, being low and settled, is just as important. Stay away from A. It's poison. No one wants to play there. So don't think, oh, that doesn't count. No, it totally counts. You have to see A. You have to see area 1. And the idea that there's an unfinished corner is less important now that AI is involved than it used to be, but it's still important. Okay, now I'm going to put that black stone back where it belongs, where we put it on the 3rd line. Ah, the left just lost its status as a special characteristic. That's important to see. A and B are now similar. They're different in that when black plays here, white can just laugh in his face. But when white plays here, black is about to lose eyes and territory. So there is a serious difference, but the black playing A, the left is now small. So for this type of group game, we're going to be calling this the create a game. That's where we get together, shout out coordinates, and then you guys tell me these special characteristics, and that's, how to find the move kind of thing when we do it together. Okay. One last thing, which is bigger, upper right corner, we can take the whole corner with C, or bottom left with unfinished E-ish, I'm going to say E-ish, or D. So I'm going to call that the bottom and call it D. Gosh, I'm going to call it A. So 2 special characteristics. Open corner, well, that's not special characteristic. The openness of the large area A is what's big because black can build and there's an open corner, so pretty big. So white to play, and the thing we need to point out is that these are the ones you're looking at. These aren't the only ones to choose from. Other white moves can be seen as strategy, creating your own personal style. Yeah, I understand all that, but I love this move. Great, then play it. I don't have nothing against that. It's not a horrible move, might be a bad move, might be a less than perfect move, but we're looking at what's the next idea in a standard, strong game. Okay, so one of you are going to, it's my move, so I get to choose. I like 3-3. I love the 3-3, actually. Someone give me a coordinate. We've been working out so many bugs in our first lecture here. How's the video going to look? How do we couldn't get the link working, so we had to create a new link. Just so many things we're working out. Hopefully the second one will be a little smoother. The camera blanked out because of some unknown reason. We'll be working on that. So we're looking for a coordinate. And there's like 10 seconds between when I say, give me a coordinate, and someone does it. So I'm assuming there's a serious lag going on here. C4. Okay. Not sure which way to block. There you go. 2 choices. Usually, they're both fine. In this case, I don't think so. Could be. Except every time, even with the first move. So I'm thinking it's more than just that. Okay, what's the difference? There's a big difference here between A and B. There usually isn't. Usually both are absolutely fine. In this case, there's a significant difference. Someone tell me what it is? As I wait 10 seconds. I can wait all day. No one's saying anything. You're going to make me say it. I know what's his face knows it. Weissel, was that his name? Yeah, the bottom is significantly bigger than the left. There's a much better future on the bottom than there is on the left. That is to say, if we play here, what's our next move on the left? I mean, assuming, once it's time to play on the left, nothing. What? Here? I don't think so. White can just come in if he wants to. But if we ask the same question here, what's the next move? How about here? How about anywhere? I mean, it's like, what a wonderful place to play. So, big difference. Which gets back to our original question, what's the big area? Oh, the bottom. So we play on the bottom. Okay. Now, we just solved a little problem. It's a little problem, very easy to solve. Now, the thing that fascinates me is low dons and Qs and myself get it wrong often. Why, when it's so obvious? We know all the questions to ask, we know all the answers. It's a hard question to answer. And in my mind, so many of my videos are all about how to find that spot where someone says, I'm going to do the thing I know. That's what I'm searching for every time I do a video. Okay, white comes up. Someone give me a black coordinate. "18 seconds." I counted that time. C5 and D5. Yeah. Let's look at them. 1. Most common. Black has Sente. Kind of nice. We see no problems, no issues. Okay, let's try the next one. 2 choices. Let's start with choice 1. I don't see the wonderful thing black has that he had a minute ago. On top of that, he's got a nasty cut when white wants it. A nasty peep when white wants to do it. So this really isn't Joseki anymore. Let's change it by 1. Well, the peep isn't nearly as powerful, but still, the wall's nothing in Gote here. Now, I'm going to assume that all makes sense to all you guys. So from there, we'll look at the double Hane. Now, this one's a little more interesting. Generally speaking, across the board, strong players prefer white here. If we only look at the bottom left corner. But this might be a different case because white's A group it's kind of far away from B to think, oh, I'm pressuring black. So, for instance, let's say the Joseki ended here. Oh, not so bad for white because it's, white's move and black didn't have time to defend. We have something. But Joseki ends here and it's white's move. Not much meaning for white's next move against black, against the B stones. So all white's doing is existing here. Not so great for white. It's equitable, but nothing to work with. Black might notice that and enjoy it and say, hey, take your senti. I got a big corner. You can't do anything with your panuki. So now the conclusion here is going to be beyond me, but let's look at, my first thought is, if I thought this through, I might play black this way because I think white's panuki's wasted. But let's look at white's other option. Now, when you're doing this in a real game, hopefully you're familiar with the Joseki, and you can just go through it in your head and look at the end position in your head. Now, that sounds funny, and I think it's worth looking at. For instance, let's say white were to play here. Your job as black, in your head you go, bum, 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 how do I like it? Well, and you make a judgment, and you're looking in your head, right? How do I feel about white's right side? You might say, it kind of looks flat. I don't mind if white does this. See what I'm saying is everyone knows this Joseki, but Q players don't see this in their head and make a conclusion about does it look good for who? And that's what we're trying to get to here. So we are not there. I'm going to play it from the beginning. Okay, since I don't like that for white, I would consider this. Okay, black's about to get double atard, so black fixes. Very similar. This is the other Joseki. Now white's panuki's facing a great direction. Our aji's gone. We don't have much aji anymore. How's the left look? Honestly, it looks over-concentrated. I think I might go this way. So these are all the things you have to consider, right? Let's pause here for a second and see, is this making sense to you guys? Is there something about it that's like, wait a minute, I don't get this? So I'll wait my 18 seconds for some replies. Oh, that was quick. He did that on purpose. He had his finger on the Y button and go boom, boom, and entered as fast as he could. That was, gosh, 2 seconds. Okay. See, I read his mind. That's why he's smiling. How did Lance know I was doing that? Okay, so let's notice how very complex this black move is. It took us a number of minutes and all this reading based on this move. Holy cow. You might just want to stay away from that altogether, not give white the chance to make a good choice. Instead, you might say, well, this one I already like, and there's nothing I can do about it. Ooh, that's a big thing I just said. Make a choice not based on the position, but based on simplicity, and I know I can control this. Okay. Black to play. We're going to check out any special characteristics. Is the wall at A special characteristic? No. It's just a little freestone wall that has no base. All it can do is survive comfortably. It can't fight well. It can't take a bit, extend well for any significant points. So when it comes to the A wall, the bottom of the board doesn't mean a lot. It might be pleasant when the time comes, as might B, C. A lot of moves could become pleasant. But the bottom's not special when it comes to the A stones. Okay. So is there anything special here? Well, this unfinished corner is getting bigger. Black would like to play there because it works with his wall so well. The bottom can become special if black plays it. If white plays it, I don't see how it can become special. Anything else? Everything else is ordinary. Let's look at a few options. Yeah, build a wall. Yeah, and then what? Oh, I got some points in Gote. Okay, I don't particularly care about that. So ordinary stuff, right? So I think this bottom unfinished corner is the only special characteristic. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Where can black play? Let's mark any other moves that would seem basic here. I can't think of one. We can force the issue with H to get more information. That would be reasonable. That's a strong move. 9 Don, very possibly is going to play H right now and get some information. But let's bypass that and just ask what you do on the bottom. I see Koji. Okay, all this, I just talked with Koji and told him about, and you guys haven't said anything yet. Wow. I need a coordinate from these choices. I'm going to look at participants. We're back down to 3. Bummer. 2 people left, I think. I think there might be a problem because George and John aren't talking and others left. Okay, maybe that was a 25, 30 second lag. P4. P4. Okay, well, I'm going to keep going. George, I'm counting on you to catch any issues and make discernments and judgments. Okay, so for white, my first thought is, how is this working for black? I don't mind. How can you not mind this? Well, I can come in here, I can come in here. I can reduce. I'm not concerned about this. I love what I got. So no reason to pinch. No reason to choose a different Joseki. So I'm going to go right with my main idea. And I'm pretty sure you guys are going to tell me to do this. And I'm pretty sure you guys are not going to play elsewhere. And here it has to be 4th. Okay, so we're up to here. Now I took a guess on what you guys would decide, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of like the only flow. Maybe not O4. Well, first, I see nothing wrong in black's position. It's a wonderful bottom position, very equitable. It's just invadable, and black doesn't have the whole thing. That's all I'm saying. But what's your other option, George, if not O4? Just a big move, eh? I think O4 is clearly bigger than A. Too focused on center. Interesting. First, I disagree. I think black has a wonderful center potential here. Just dynamically wonderful. Something white's afraid of. So that I disagree with. But if you were thinking that in the game, you'd have to ask, well, what else can I do? Ordinary A? Well, let's take a quick look. Let's say boom, and white says, you fool. And we'll just play that. Sure. Quite reasonable. Yeah, I don't see a loss here. So I'm thinking this is rational. So we need a vote, A or B. Wait until the votes are in. Still just the two of you. Okay, so we're thinking of just play it. I think this is reasonable. It's a big move and says, I don't want to make a commitment to the bottom. And that's what you're kind of doing with the other direction. So we could say this is more practical. In a real game, I would play this black move. I hadn't looked at it from my personal perspective. I would play this because, dang, this move, I've been falling in love with it more and more the last 2 years. It's like, wow, what a great, solid, strong, territorial move. And I'm not hoping at the bottom. Now, I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Why I personally have a negative attachment to this shape on the bottom. It's because I've played a lot of professional players, and any hopes I have for the bottom gone. It simply does not exist. And I got to tell you, that's frustrating. So instead, this move, I'm playing practically. You are not going to mess with me. Then I'll cut you. No problem. What are you going to do now? Well, I better do this. Great. What are you going to? And it's practical. I've really been enjoying a practical viewpoint. But most players are going to prefer this, right? I mean, that's awfully pretty. And black could get greatness here. Okay. White to play. What should white play? I know what I think, and I know what my plan is to do. But what do you think? I need some white coordinates from you guys. R 14, R 17. John, his or bad? You got any good ones? 3 3. John, his or bad? You got any good ones? I'm having fun telling George that his ideas are bad. I know John can do it. If we go back 6 months, John's top game is better than George's. Now, with George's push into the Dons, okay. C7. Yes. Only idea. I cannot allow anything in this, anything here. No, I can't allow this. Too much. So let's put it another way. Bottom's has gotten really big. One more move, there's a real chance that the bottom is entirely cash. I don't know. It's getting tough. So how does one come in? One prepares. Now, when I come in, the A stones are going to be at risk. Also, with my B in place, my moves like C are going to be affecting that black group a lot more. So B is preparatory to access to the center, invade the bottom, attack the C group. It does a lot of things. Now, the only way in which I think I might be incorrect is if the pro walks in the room and says, yeah, I understand what you're doing, but this is mandatory right now. You have to come in right now. Okay, I wouldn't know that. Because sometimes it must be now, and other times, be patient. So that's the way in which I might be mistaken. But generally speaking, this is the idea. Now, I have to be careful of this, right? I mean, it's scary. Okay. Removing all the letters, and I need some black coordinates. I still like practical around 017. Okay. Well, our time today is all about special characteristics. These special characteristics tell us how to play our game, where to aim for, what direction the game should be played, things like this. So let's look at them. And we'll just go through all the characteristics and see which ones stand out. Top of the board, clearly not special. Right side, not special. Half big, half small. Top, half big, half small. Corner, practical, big. So between A, B, and C, A wins out big time. Oh, we're looking at a black move. Sorry. I apologize. Let's switch it to a white move for a second. Notice black's the one playing in not such a big area, the top. Or black's playing in not such a big area, the right. So this is a bother to black. Black might even consider ignoring because neither black move is nice. But we're looking at a black move, not a white move. So right away, we see white can sort of punish black in the upper right. That's an overstatement, but it kind of gives merit to playing one of the knight's moves. Okay, so there's something about the A stone in the general entire upper right context that urges us to play. I don't know about special, but it's an urge. Okay, so A is something. If there's nothing else, we'll go with A. What else? Well, there's no denying that the entirety of Area 1 is special and is a burden for white. White's looking for a way to deal with it. How can we possibly say that this might be special A is more special than, holy cow, this bottom area is outstanding? Q7 for black. Okay, so if we're looking at B for black, then we're actually looking at force and out. Yeah, except I'm not seeing any threat. So I would prefer this one because white's like, heck, I don't want to get surrounded. So white wants to come out. Well, white doesn't want to come out. First, there's a cut there. And secondly, we just help black take the bottom. So back here. Once again, we're acknowledging that the A stone has some special characteristics. But there's no way around that Area 1 has a great deal of special characteristics. Now, if we try to take points here, I think that's not enough, too slow. But if we ask white to come in, please come in, we want you to come in. Let's assume for a moment that white does. We'll just put it here. Then black's getting free points. That's what we're looking at. White's going to be weak for the next 100 moves, and black will keep getting profit. So as long as you're not looking for the bottom to be points, then I think this is a great direction. Okay, is this making sense? There's only two of you to answer the question. Ooh, John's gone. Did he say anything or just slip out silently? Just slipped out. That's so-and-so. Yeah, George, John and I are pretty good friends. There you are. You weren't there a minute ago. Hope you didn't hear all those bad things I was saying about you. And he's here. Just a second. He wasn't here a minute ago. So John and Wispy Bell were both absent for a moment. That's interesting. I'm wondering what level you're aiming at here. Because I would disagree at the higher level. Interesting. Wispy Bell, please. What do you disagree with? Oh, his statement excited me so much. I'm serious. I heard, wow, I got so excited. And Wispy, if you want to come back into KGS, I can give you control and you can show things if you wish. If white answers all your moves from D7, you have to consider if black is going to get enough compensation at the bottom. Okay, D7, compensation for, you're saying that white having three corners is actually a lot of cash, and as black is answering these moves, and the bottom is still not black's, is black potentially falling behind? Is that what you're saying? Protecting the relevant weak points. Oh, deep stuff. The left exchange gives white a little. Yeah. But white may still be able to come in with not in, but not as much. For example, M2, still an issue after E7. True. Yes, I agree. So, I hope everyone other than Wispy is hearing what he's saying. Like he said, this is high-level stuff. Very exciting to see him say this. Okay, let's look at some very basic things here. Let's go kind of a regular way here. Yeah, not a lot of black points, extreme black thickness, but one wonders if the actual points will be enough. Okay, so a few things here. Let's go back to this move. Remember earlier, I was saying, personally, I don't like B. How come? Well, because this wonderful thing you're getting on the bottom isn't actually as wonderful as it looks because of what Wispy is saying. While if we go the other way, white has a lot of points, so does black. White's going to catch you. I'll just get my points over here. So black switching, it's kind of like black is saying, white's got a lot of points, I better catch up on cash and not worry too much about influence. Okay. Now, my guess, maybe someone said something. I'm going to finish my sentence first. My guess is that this is fine. That we're only talking about influence versus territory. Now, that being said, I think the majority of strong players are going to prefer white because nice points, Sente, easy to invade. So I agree with that. Let me look at one thing here. White will just do the Atari. And this is nothing, right? This is just nothing. Okay. So black has to play here, and white gets... Okay, so nothing there. I thought there might be a Sente. Yeah. So I'm going to read the name again, Wispy Bell. But I'm very glad he pointed that out. Okay. White can still chip away. Yes. So here white has Sente to go to the upper right. Right. Oh, excellent. George says prefers that. N6, N6, and F. Work well against the bottom oil. Yeah, good. Okay. If we're looking at mid-range Q players, a little higher, a little lower, yeah, Wispy, I completely agree. And I'm just so glad you spoke up. I can imagine the not so strong players going, wait a minute, Black's Moyo. Are you joking? This is magnificent. Can't you hear them say that? They're like lusting after this wonderful Black Moyo. But if you remember, I started this conversation with my personal view of white. I don't like this as black because I've played against countless professionals and it's nothing. The bottom turns into nothing. And it's so frustrating. I stopped playing Moyos because of playing with professionals. Like it doesn't mean anything. And so practical. So that leads us all the way back to this move. Yeah. Okay. I'm reading here. Difference is small. Wouldn't say necessarily good. Right. Okay. I think I've taught enough Go. I didn't know you're a Go player. Taught enough Go players that some people love Moyos and others are insecure. Yeah, right. Wispy, what's your level? If you don't mind my asking, because you're saying such wonderful things and you're saying them well. So I'm just find myself so curious. Oh, good. Oh, so you're plenty strong. I thought I saw a 2 Don by your name on KGS. Not that that means anything. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, you're clearly saying wonderful things in a wonderful way. Yeah. Okay, guys, that's our hour. Thanks, Wispy, for joining. I'm so glad you said those things. And once again, this is called Create a Game, where we all get together, create a game, and look at how does one find moves. I'm hoping that we'll get people writing in and saying, oh, I hope you do this. I hope you do that. Here's a question I have on a certain Go board. Send me an SDF file. A lot of times we'll have an extra 10 minutes at the end of the lecture, and we'll look at that. If we have enough of them, we'll spend an entire hour looking at everyone's questions. So there's lots of things we can do, and there's other things other than the create a game. I'm looking forward to our next take turns, which is always fun. Okay, guys, thanks a lot for coming. See y'all later. Bye.